Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Mr. JB. Hey, babe. How y'all doing this morning? Hey, to all the bush watchers out there that's busy right now. Because sometimes life be laughing. Life be laughing, y'all. I'm sitting here this morning. I got to go to a dentist appointment in a little while. I'm like, oh, damn. But, no, it's just I got this little, crack in one of my teeth, so I got to see what's going on with it. May need to get a repair. Get a repair, dog. Get a repair. I don't know what happened was. Part of getting older, I suppose. Gotta be careful stretching when you get older. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. On this Wellness Wednesday, I take Strattera for my ADHD, and it seems to work okay for me. Um, I wanted to know anybody else take any different kind of ADHD medicine, and does it work for you? Like, do you have like a set time you take it every morning? How do you do it? What works for you? Kind of situation. Basically, my Strattera is AKA amoxicillin. It's a non-stimulant option. I won't take Ritalin. I won't take. There's a reason for that. It affects the liver. So obviously there's a reason for that. The reason I won't take it. But I right now I'm on amoxicillin. And it works. It seems to be working really great. It basically, to tell you what it does, amoxicillin is a selective NRI medicine used to treat ADHD to help improve attention and reduce hyperactivity and impulsiveness. Amoxicillin is thought to work by selectively blocking a protein, presympathetic norepinephrine transporter, that affects chemicals in the brain and nerves involved in hyperactivity and impulse control. Blocking this protein may improve ADHD symptoms. Amoxicillin is usually used together with psychological, educational, and social measures. Amoxicillin is not a stimulant medication. It's not a controlled substance. Amoxicillin is from a group of medicines called selective norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, or NRIs. Strattera, the original brand of amoxicillin, received FDA approval on November the 26th of 2002 for treatment for ADHD. Amoxicillin has not been studied in children less than 6 years old. Strattera is now available as a generic under the active ingredients named amoxicillin. Amoxicillin side effects. Common amoxicillin side effects may include nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, constipation, dry mouth, loss of appetite, mood changes, feeling tired, dizziness, urination problems, or impotence, which is trouble having an erection, which I don't have an erection because I don't have a penis. Serious amoxicillin side effects. Signs of heart problems, signs of psychosis, liver problems, painful or difficult in urination, erections, painful or last longer than 4 hours. Technically, the only side effect that I had before taking Strattera, when I had during taking it, was upset stomach when I first started taking it. After about a week of taking it, that went away on its own. You was on Addy twice a day. It's a stimulant option, but I'm trying alternative methods, but it worked amazingly. I've heard Adderall works very well for people with ADHD. Never tried it. They put me on amoxicillin because not only does amoxicillin or Strattera also help with the ADHD, and you just have to get on the correct percentage, right, for you. I'm up on the 40 milligrams. They start you out low and raise it up a little over time. And there's a reason why they do this. This medicine has to get in your system. It takes time for it to work. You're not going to see results right away, right? Not right away. It's going to take time. But it also is a mood stabilizer. So, it literally makes you feel chill as fuck. Makes you feel like you just smoked a shit ton of weed. That's the way I can make it sound. It's like, it makes you go, cool, dude. But you're not high or anything. You just got that calming effect, if that makes sense. Like, you know how to make you feel calm and relaxed? That medicine makes you feel that way without the high symptoms and all that other stuff. Because it's not a narcotic of any kind. So it has none of those effects. Well, it's not an antidepressant at all. It doesn't help with that. No, it's supposed to be like a mood stabilizer. Where, like, you know how with ADHD, how we'll go off the rails sometimes. Hey, TT love. And with ADHD, like, our emotions are all over the place sometimes. It just stabilizes that effect pretty much to where you can control it yourself, if that makes sense. It doesn't make you a zombie, nothing like that. No effect like that. But it does help slow you down enough where you can concentrate and shit. You see, that's the difference between these two medicines is that the Strattera takes a while to get into your system, but once it does, it works. It takes, I think, like, for you to see the full effects of it, you'll see some of the effects right away, and then other ones it'll take like 2 to 3 weeks, or something like that, for you to start really noticing the huge effects, because it's a slow acting medication, right? And it has to get in your system and all that other shit. Works great for me. I like it. I'll say this, like, I notice the difference when I take it and when I don't take it. When I don't take it, I'm like a crackhead, right? I'm like a crackhead. I admit it. My ADHD is that bad. Like, you can visibly see my ADHD. It's not something I can hide. It's not something that I can get away from. It's always there. And when I'm not medicated whatsoever, it gets really bad. Like, my ADHD goes, wee. I have a very visible, some people have, because every person has ADHD differently. I'll tell you this, Mr. JB, I learned those same coping mechanisms as a child because I was never medicated. I just got medicated for my ADHD like last year. So when I was 36 years old. So I had already, for 36 years, I had already learned all my coping mechanisms. I'm going to tell you something that'll help you. First, when you start something, like let's say you're cleaning the dishes, even if you see something out of the corner of your eye that needs to be done, do not stop what you're doing. Because if you stop what you're doing and go over there, that's when you're going to fuck up. Now, here's the thing, Mr. JB. I didn't get my formal diagnosis till last year. I've known I've had it my entire life, but I finally got a formal diagnosis, if that makes sense. Like, you have ADHD. Hey, Red Wings, love. You already know you got ADHD long before you get your formal diagnosis. Most people do, especially if you have the ADHD that's very visible. If you have the ADHD that you can't sit the fuck down when you want to, the one where you can't concentrate. Now, here's the thing. Different people's ADHD is different, like for every person, right? Some people's ADHD is not as visible as others, right? Like, you can physically start to see mine manifest in real life. Like, I'll start shaking my leg. I'll start moving my body back and forth. Like my head will twitch, all this other stuff. Like, you'll be able to visibly see when I'm trying to sit still, I am trying to concentrate, that I still have some kind of movement going on when I'm doing that, because that's the only way I can concentrate. I have to be moving something, doing something, chewing gum, something. It's like that constantly. It's like constantly being on go all the time, but being extremely tired while being on go at the time, all the time. Like, you're so exhausted, but yet you're like, wee, 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 wee. And you can't shut your brain up for nothing. Like, no matter how you do it. See, I was actually hyper both ways, in real life and in my mind. And see, some people don't realize that about certain people with their ADHD. It doesn't manifest physically for some people. So you can't see it on the outside. It works more in their brain, right? Mine, I'm going to say this right now. Mine is so serious, Mr. JB, without medication that I look like a fucking crackhead. I am not joking you. I can't shut the fuck up. You think I talk like now. You ain't seen nothing until you see me without ADHD medication or nothing to slow it down. I'm just telling you, ADHD, mine manifests physically and mentally. It's there all the time. And ever since I used to get so much trouble as a kid for talking out of turn in class. And I used to chew up my pencil erasers, my grips on my pencils. I used to chew up the ends of the pencils, the grippies, all that stuff, just to try to sit still. It was hard as hell having that condition and teaching yourself that shit. Hey, Z, Sarah Love. That's Red Wings. That's exactly what it is with ADHD. It's an incessant need to, it's like even when you're in a serious situation, like let's say you're going to your grandmother's funeral. Guess what? You're not going to be able to sit still. You're not going to be able to, you're going to fidget. You're not going to be able to, your emotions are going to be all over the place. We have a problem with what they call emotional regulation. And see, that's the problem, Mr. JB. It's like being anxious and being hyper, but not having the motivation to do a damn thing, right? And the procrastination is real. The procrastination is real with ADHD. And don't let you see something shiny out the corner of your eye, because you're going to totally be doing something and then look at something else and you're going to go up there and do it. And this is what happens with people with ADHD. When we get that energy burst, we'll be like, yeah, we're going to do something with it. Oh, yeah, we'll go in there and start doing something. And then something else will catch our eye. And then something else. And then something else. And then we overwhelm ourselves by trying to do too much at one time. And then we quit. Because the fact is we overload ourselves. And the procrastination is real, dog. But then there's the desire to want to make progress. The struggle is real. You're right, Mr. JB. The struggle is real. Like you sitting there looking at a project you've been wanting to do for like 2 weeks. It's a project of some kind, right? And then you look over to the right and there's something else. And then there's something else. And then there's something else. And then it feels like the whole world is crashing down on your shoulders. It's crazy how ADHD works. And then people think you have all this unlimited energy when you have ADHD. That's not the case, bro. Nah, sometimes you feel like you drained and you tired and somebody ran over you with a Mack truck. But you have like, you are in a position of your brain is absolutely dead tired, or your body. And either your brain or your body wants to do the cha-cha slide right about now. Yeah, for no apparent reason. Yeah, in the middle of church. See, that's the messed up stuff. The energy boost, the hyperactivity that we want never happens when we want it to happen. Like, we want to have it when we're in there busy doing something. No, it happens at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to sleep. It happens when you're at the church trying to sit still during service. No, it decides to hit you when you're going through a serious situation and you can't get up and you can't move. You're in the middle of a long test for college. Guess what? It's going to hit you right then and there just for the fun of it. It don't happen when you want it to happen. It happens when it wants it to happen. So 3 o'clock in the morning, you trying to get some sleep. You tired as all get out. And all of a sudden, your brain goes, well, what had happened was in retrospect, you're not going to sleep tonight. You sure not going to sleep. Yes, that's exactly true, Mr. JB. It happens at the weirdest freaking times, I swear to God. Well, the only difference between, I will say, bipolar and ADHD that I've seen is the emotional regulation part, the highs and the lows, right? With ADHD, we do have emotional regulation, but it's not out of nowhere, if that makes sense. Like the emotional regulations, we're too sensitive about something, right? So let's say somebody actually can touch our spirit and hurts our feelings, especially if it was someone we love. We might overdo the emotion and feel like it's the end of the world, right? But it was situational. Where with bipolar, it goes from swings of, extremely happy to extremely sad kind of situation. The ADHD doesn't have those swings. Wait, so you gonna find a way to the grill, take it out the trash, fix your place, bartend it, and the cookout is for you. That's about right. That's about right for some ADHD shit. That is about right. You might have ADHD, Red Wings. Yeah. Here's the question, though. Do you see something in the corner that needs to be done, and you got to stop everything you're doing to go take care of that situation first? Because that's the way we feel. Yeah, it's the way that I look. It's because that's why I know it wasn't bipolar when the lady asked me. I don't have those manic natures, and I do not have like the extreme highs or extreme lows. My emotions don't switch that much. No, the emotion regulation that happens with ADHD is more so like over feeling or over like when we usually have a reason to get angry, right? And then it's an overwhelming feeling. It's like you take your emotion that you're having and you times it times 10, right? And that's the emotional regulation part in ADHD, and or not being able to calm yourself down fast enough, if that makes sense. It goes on longer than it should, if that, but not the highs and lows, not the switches real fast, like that. And the crazy thing about people with ADHD, and Mr. JB can tell you this, we can have 50 different conversations and at one time and get back to the original conversation, and we can talk about 6 different things at once. At once, and know exactly what each other's talking about. Well, see, that's the only difference between the ADHD and the bipolar. Is more so the manic episodes and the extreme highs and extreme lows. Because y'all swing, ours don't swing. It just stays in the one way, right? So if we get like really highly emotional on something, we stay highly emotional on that point, whether it be we don't get extreme happiness. It's more so what I've noticed, and anybody with ADHD can possibly tell me this. I've noticed that our emotional regulation kicks in when it don't want to work right, when we're extremely sad or angry. It doesn't really affect calmness too much or happy. Now, sometimes we get giddy for no reason, like little children that's fixing to ride a horse for the first time. But it doesn't overdo for some reason for me. The overdoing, the over emotional part usually is sadness or hurt. Like I feel overly hurt about situations that I shouldn't feel that hurt about. Like if I really let someone into my inner circle and they hurt my feelings, it feels like a death. Like that's how bad the hurt feels, if that makes sense. Like there's a pain in my chest and a sadness within me that I can't explain. That's where it affects me the most. Miss JB, let me ask you this question. How many times have you chatted and thought you typed it in chat and you didn't do it? How many times have you thought you typed something in chat, you was thinking it, and thought you had typed it, and then realized you didn't type it at all? How many times has that happened to you? See, that's another ADHD trait. You may be ADHD, Miss Fred Wings, because that's an ADHD trait. We can talk to 30 different people at the same time, keep up with every single conversation that is going down, and not miss a beat. Like it's just easy. Yeah, see, that's the cool thing about Z-Sir about ADHD is we can multitask like a motherfucker. So what do you think? I actually got formally diagnosed though. I've had it my entire life, but I got formally diagnosed last year. And every doctor that I have seen since I was little actually said, yeah, we kind of realized you have ADHD. I just didn't have a formal diagnosis from a mental institute because in order to get formally diagnosis, you actually have to go to a psychiatrist. A regular doctor cannot formally diagnose you with ADHD. You actually have to go take a test and do all this shit. It's crazy. I know, right? And then by the time you notice the whole point 5 minutes ago, it was gone. But what are you doing today? Hey, way up, dude. How you doing today? You having a good day? Also, I noticed there is no cure for ADHD. There is coping mechanisms. Pretty much, you can cope with it. You can live with it for the rest of your life. Just like with, for 36 years, I wasn't medicated for my ADHD. I learned coping skills to deal with it and different things. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up learning how to process and deal with things without, you know what I'm saying? There's no cure for any mental condition, whether it be ADHD, bipolar, schizophrenia, so on and so forth. There's just ways to manage it and ways to cope. Learning positive reinforcement in your brain, changing, even when it comes to depression, there's no cure for depression, right? Or anxiety, but there are ways to cope, and there are, you're like, weed helps everything. Hey, they're starting to figure that out. Way up, dude. They are, I will say this, when you learn how to change your negative mindset into a positive one, you can make a big step towards your mental health. Like saying, I'm not enough. You know, when people, trauma responses of people putting you down all the time and telling you you're not enough, you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough. You have to change that mindset. It helps you. I mean, there is such thing as there's too much positivity, which is called, Z Sarah, help me out, girl. JB, y'all the smart ones. Help me out. It's called, this is another form of ADHD you're seeing manifest right now. The forgetfulness. It's I would say negative positivity, but there's another word for it. And I cannot for the life of me right now. It's not trying to come to my brain. But there's such thing as being too positive to the point that it negatively affects your life. Like, you're supposed to have some negative things that go on in your life. You know, you're supposed to have some things. Like, you're supposed to cry at a funeral, right? You're supposed to be upset about certain situations that happen in life. There is a such thing as positivity that can negatively affect you. So you kind of want to have a balance, if that makes sense. Change your negative headspaces and the trauma responses that you have. Because a lot of people, almost every person in this chat, sometime or another in your life has faced some trauma, whether you know it or not. Whether it was an abusive ex, whether it was a person that gave you PTSD, whether it was a person, whether it was a childhood trauma, abandonment issues. There's so much that you can go down the list, right? And everybody has some trauma that has happened to them. I don't care who you are, everybody's had some. Some may be more different than others. Some may be a little different. Some people's trauma responses may be, some people don't even realize, and I've seen this with men specifically. A lot of men don't even know that they're doing trauma responses, that they have been abused verbally by women so bad that has affected the way that they carry themselves. A man is told not to cry and not to feel. That is not good for your mental health or for yourself. Men tend to go through depression by themselves, and that's why so many men unalive themselves, because they don't reach out for help, because they see that as a weakness. They are told to suck it up. You're a man. You're not supposed to feel anything. And their woman, who is supposed to be their comfort when they get home out of this evil world, ain't the comfort that they really need and deserve. Because your woman shouldn't make fun of you for you crying or you being upset about something or you feeling some type of way. Your woman's supposed to be the one person that you can come to and tell everything to. She's your comfort above all else. So when you go out in this cruel, hateful ass world, you can be that strong man and that, immovable force. But you got to have somebody, I don't care who it is, somebody that you can be vulnerable with. Somebody that won't judge you, that won't make fun of you for it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that understands you and gets you. And that's why I was thinking about, today's Wellness Wednesday. I am thinking about doing therapy Thursday, right? On Thursdays and like having my little therapy couch and whatnot. Yes, a man can be a victim of domestic violence and emotional abuse. Physical abuse, yes, he can. A man can very well. Because here's the thing. What are men taught when they're little? Don't put your hands on a woman. Well, what if that woman's all up in his face, bopping the shit out of him? You know what I'm saying? Knocking the teetotal shit out of him, putting her hands on him all the time. There have been many men unalived by domestic violence. It's just not spoken about. And I think a lot of our men, and I don't know how many of my women agree, are not given the chance or the opportunity to speak about it, because if they speak about it, then they're told they're weak when they are not. That does not make you a weak person. It does not make you a weak person for that to happen to you. A lot of our men are SA survivors, and they're too ashamed to speak about it, and it leaves them with a hurt and a pain that they have to deal with. And a lot of them won't open up and speak about it. Look at Robin Williams, the funniest man in America, right? The funniest man in America who suffered in silence. Who suffered in silence until he took his own life. How many men have to go through that before we make a change? Do you know that, how many times that I was talking, like I was my therapist, right? She didn't tell me this patient's name. She did not break any HIPAA laws. But she did tell me, because we were talking about this subject in therapy one day, me and my therapist. And she was like, "You're so right about that." I was like, "I know. I see it all the time. I see so many men suffering in silence." And she said there was an older man who had become a father. He was a father, right? And his daughter was becoming of a certain age to where she would need him more emotionally. She was becoming of age to be a teenager, to be a preteen. And he went to therapy as a man. I'm going to say, I give this man, I don't know who he is, but I'm going to give him all his flowers for this. To try to be a better man so that he could be a better father, because he didn't know how to use emotion. He was always told to bottle it up and hide it, so much so that when he got to therapy, he didn't know where to start. He didn't know what to talk to the therapist about, because he was always told to hush it up, shut it up. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You don't have any problems. So he didn't know how to begin to fix what had been done to him. That is trauma. I don't care any way you look at it. That is trauma that has been done to men for many, 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 many years. I do not see a shame or a game in a man showing emotion when it's needed. I'm going to tell you something. When I see a grown man that I know never cries, and it's a big burly dude, or just a dude that I know is always strong, and I see that motherfucker break down, I'm the second person to break the fuck down. I will cry with you, because for some reason it touches my heart for them to be able to show that emotion and be vulnerable with you. Because it's hard for men to be vulnerable. It is very hard for y'all to be a vulnerable person. Like the first time I ever saw my daddy cry, I broke down in tears. First time I ever saw my daddy cry, we had a dog that we had for many, many years since I was a baby. And I named her. Her name was Baby. And she passed away. And that was the first time I ever seen my daddy bawl like a little baby. First time I ever seen him cry. And it made me cry harder than he did, because I'd never seen that man cry. And I was like 8 or 9 years old by this point, 10 years old. I had never seen that man cry. That was the first time I ever seen tears roll down his eyes. And this was what he said when our male dog died versus our female, because they were both older, right? He didn't cry over our male dog, Augustus, or Gus, because he was a man. And you didn't cry over another man. But Baby was his little girl. And to him, it felt like losing a child. You know what I'm saying? So it was the first time I ever seen my daddy cry. And I'm going to tell you something. Shit, bitch, that had this hoe over here crying like a little bitch. But a lot of men are told not to cry, not to feel, not to this, not to admit when something is wrong. That's a very dangerous game. Men should be able to feel just like women do. I'm not saying you got to go out there and boo-hoo for the world. I'm not saying that. But you should be able to speak your mind and your feelings and have a good cry when you need it, just like everybody else. Because mental health is very, very important. And a lot of men are DV'd by women. It happens a lot. A lot of men are SA'd. And they'll say, well, you're a man. You can't be SA'd. Yes, a man can be SA'd. And sometimes the natural responses of the body do kick in, right? Even if the person doesn't want it. Even if the person doesn't want it. Goes for men and women. And then men and women both feel ashamed about that when they're SA'd. That their body did what it normally does. Because the body doesn't know that's non-consensual, right? The body just knows it's being touched. The body just knows it's being stimulated, right? Even though the brain knows that this is not okay and this is not what I want, the body doesn't know that, right? And so the body will naturally do what the body does when any stimulation happens. And then the victim of the SA feels ashamed about it. And, it goes from many different topics when we talk about mental health. I do believe that the stigma for our men need to stop. The stigmatization that a man can't be a DV victim or, can't be emotionally or verbally abused needs to end. Yes, they can. I've sit there and watched it myself here on this internet. I've watched a woman sit there and scream, and I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Scream at that man and the way she talked to him. I know that he feels like he lives in a war zone all the time. All the time. Could you imagine being an emotional wreck all the time? You don't know if your partner's just going to all of a sudden haul off. She hauled off and hit him. He didn't hit back. That's DV. Because as a man, you're told, don't hit a woman. But do you know how many men have been unalived? And there was this case I watched, and this dude, when they came up to the door, the guy was a big old guy. He was like 6 foot something, big Hawaiian guy. Looked like he was like just big, you know what I'm saying? And the woman was a little 5 foot nothing, scrawny little woman, right? So the cops automatically assumed when they heard about the screaming, hollering DV situation that he was the aggressor. No, they were wrong. She was the aggressor. They ended up leaving, telling him if they come back and he had put his hands on her, they were going to put him in jail, right? So, of course, he's scared to go to jail. They come back. They saw her jump up and stab this man in the neck and unalive him. And he did nothing to protect himself because he was afraid. He was afraid of the consequences of what would happen to him. This man got unalived because not only was he in a DV situation, emotionally abused to the point that, and he couldn't, in his mind, protect himself. And they literally thought he was the aggressor, and it was her. It was never him. You cannot always take that. I have seen also in some of these cases, there was this one dude, I will say, I don't know if y'all seen this video, but he taped the interaction with this woman, right? She told him she was going to call the cops on him and tell him that he hit her, so he'd go to jail. Thank God he taped this interaction. So if you know you with a crazy bitch, please pull out your cell phones and record certain situations. So if the cops do get called, your ass has something to protect yourself. So basically, she called the cops. She did have a mark on her face where she hit herself, right? She hit herself and claimed he did it. They was getting ready to take him to jail. And he said, hold on, wait a minute. I know why she called y'all. And he says, can I show you something? I got a video right here proving my side. He pulls out the video and shows it. She's hitting him. She's stowing off on him. She's hitting herself. She's acting crazy. She's telling him she's going to call the cops and make sure he goes under the jail. All this other shit. And he's got every bit of it recorded from the beginning of the altercation when she hit him. Actually, before she started hitting him, when she was talking shit. All the way to the end of it. So she could not claim that nothing happened before or after the recording. This dude was awesome. She ended up getting her ass put in cuffs. But boy, she straight up tried to fake cry and pull that shit. Mr. JB, we talking about how certain men go through DV situations and people be saying men can't go through DV and all this other bullshit. And I was talking about some videos I had seen to where, like, I tell anybody with a partner nowadays, if you know that you have a crazy person around you, first off, get from away from them, okay? But secondly, if a person ever threatens you with the popo, start recording. Use your phone. That's what we got them for now. Yes, they can. And see, that's the crazy part, Mr. JB, is that they're told they can't be SA victims, they can't be DV victims. I'm like, yes, the fuck you can. Everybody can. Just because you're bigger and stronger does not mean that it cannot happen to you. And some crazy bitches be like stout bitches. I'm just saying. Just because you look like you're the more healthier person or more stronger person don't mean shit. Because some people refuse to put their hands on others, and while others will do it. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, that was the I covered that case, Red Wings. That was the Sarah Boone case. Sarah Boone case. She claimed DV situation, and that's why she did it. That's what she claimed. Of course, he's no longer here with us to tell his side of the story. And she locked him in the sub case, and he passed away. Yeah, yeah, it was the Sarah Boone case, and she got found guilty on all charges. Yeah, that's the most craziest shit. Um, that I will say, if because some dudes do like to play around with the crazy chicks, I ain't gonna say nothing to y'all about that because I know sometimes the crazy bitch be the freakiest bitch in bed. I get it. But if you fucking around with a crazy bitch and she starts acting psycho as fuck like that, record, record, record. Always be ready. Keep your phone to where you can record the situation so you can show the popo because they don't want to believe men. The police are going to be for the woman. I'm going to pre-tell you because they think women can't do that. That is bullshit. I have seen them 5 foot nothing girls, skinny as hell, small, little bitty women. I'm talking about tiny women, right? Them little bitches will straight up punch a mofo in the face in a heartbeat. And what I was always taught, and this is just my personal teaching, I was taught, not everybody was taught. My daddy always taught me this simple fact: don't put yourself in a man's place unless you want to get hit like a man, because there's gonna be some men that ain't gonna have that proclivity. So don't jump up in no man's face because you don't know if he gonna hit back. So that's why they say don't put yourself in a man's place. You get what I'm trying to say? Don't do it. I was taught that when I was young. Don't jump up and do that shit because some men aren't going to hold back. You know what I'm saying? So your ass gonna get knocked the fuck out. I'm just saying. Don't think you're a big bad Billy Joe badass all the time because I was also taught this. There's always somebody else out there that's bigger and badder than you. You're not going to win every fight you do with your hands. It just is what it is. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. Now, I have yet to lose a physical altercation. I choose not to do physical altercations now because I'm older and I'm not in as good as health as I was when I was younger. But I've never lost a physical altercation. But I'm going to say this. Even if you win a fight, you still don't win. Nobody technically wins in a fight because you still going to have your hand going to be hurting. You're going to come out with some scratches yourself. Like there was this one girl who scratched me. Oh God, I wanted to knock her out again. You still gonna come out with like marks and shit, and you know what I'm saying. You're still gonna be hurting because all the, fighting and shit. Like no matter what, you still gonna come out with, pain in your hands, your feet, your legs, whatever. Store the next day. You know what I'm saying. So technically, nobody wins in a fight. It's just who got less injuries. That's the point. In a fight, it's whoever got the less injuries, and if you knock that motherfucker out, means you supposedly won. But technically, nobody wins. I told my son, now I'm going to tell you this, Mr. Chubby. I told my son not to put his hands on a woman. I said, but if she puts her hands on you, call me. I'll put my hands on her. I said, if I ever catch you doing it just because you can, I'll beat your ass. I said, now, if you have to restrain her because she won't stop, you know what I'm saying? That's different. I said, but don't just go off, haul off, hit a woman because she pissed you off. Don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because a woman says some words don't mean you haul off and hit her ass. You don't do that shit. You're stronger than her. I said, but if she keeps bothering you and talking shit, I said, call me. I'm a woman. I'll whoop her ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm your mama. I don't care if I'm 50 years old, 60 years old, and ain't in the prime of my life no more. I said, call me. I will knock that bitch out for you. I'm going to say this. There are certain people who get in those relationships. And I'm going to tell you what happens with most of these people who are abusive like that. 9 times out of 10, they start out love bombing the shit out of you to the point that you think they're not that type of person. Then they start to do this thing where they separate you from your friends, your family, and they try to make it all about them. All about them. Notice that's a red flag. If somebody is jealous of your friendships or jealous of your family members and your relationship, that is a huge red flag. They start separating you, so when they do become physical, you feel like you have nowhere else to go and no way to leave the situation. They start beating you down mentally first before they start getting physical. Almost every situation is like that. Now, if it's not a deviant situation to where it's all the time, that could just those rules may not apply, right? Could be y'all were in some kind of verbal thing and the person just starts hitting, right? But in a lot of situations when you're with an abuser who knows they're an abuser, they try to separate you from people. They try to, beat you down mentally. Love bombing, isolation, triangulation, and gaslighting. If that is happening, you are in an abusive relationship. If they hit you or grab you, and I don't mean just like haul off and hit you in the face. I'm talking about just grabbing you on the arm in a rough manner, or hit you in the chest, or do some shit like that, and then all of a sudden they're apologizing or trying to buy you gifts, and they're love bombing you, or they say something real fucked up to you to like really break down your mental state. See, there's also verbally abusive relationships that sometimes are worse than physical altercations because they beat you down mentally. They tell you you're not good enough. They make you feel like the lowest of the low. You know what I'm saying? And so they will do those things, mentally abuse you, and then they'll try to love bomb you and buy you gifts and tell you they're sorry and they'll never do it again. And I love you. And if you hadn't done this, I wouldn't have did this. They try to do the blame game too and make you feel like you're always at fault for every single argument and everything that happens. They take no responsibility for their actions. None whatsoever. Or they'll pretend they take. There's another way. They do sometimes pretend to take, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have did that, man. That was out of my character. But then 2 weeks later, they're back doing it again. That apology means jack shit if you continue the way that you're doing things. See, my ex was verbally abusive and mentally abusive, right? And they start out with the love bombing thing. They do. And they try to gaslight you to make you think everything is your fault. That they wouldn't have went out and did this if you hadn't done that. They don't take responsibility for their actions. And in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be your fault. And then you start saying, I'm sorry entirely too much. You start saying, I'm sorry for sneezing. I'm sorry for going to sleep. I'm sorry for breathing. Like saying sorry for things. I know I'm using like more things, but like you start saying sorry for things that you shouldn't be sorry for, right? Things that you should never apologize for. And you start being very over apologetic about things because you're made to feel that everything is your fault when it's not. And that kind of situation, yes, many times you do have a narcissist on your hands. In those type of relationships, many times you do have a narcissist. And here's the thing about a narcissist, right? They don't see what they're doing as a problem. And everything has to be about them. A narcissist thinks everything has to be about them. And everything you talk about, they automatically assume it's about them. You could be talking about something totally different. And like, let's say you don't like a person that's a friend of yours or something, or somebody you knew in passing or an acquaintance. right? You're like, I just don't, you're talking to your friend, right? I just don't really think that person's a good person, you know? Like, it's crazy what they do. And then they automatically start equating what you just said about somebody else to them and start saying, so, oh, you think I'm a bad person? What you talking to your friend about me for? You wasn't even talking about them in the begin with. But they automatically assume that. Yes, and it's not just romantic relationships. It can be in friendships. Friendships can be, and family situations can be DV situations or abusive relationships. You can have a best friend that is a narcissist. You can have a sister, a brother, a cousin, you know what I'm saying? And have that same abusive thing going on. It's just not a romantic relationship. It can happen to anybody at any time. And probably, I would say most of us have had a person like that in our lives. Whether it be a sister, mother, brother, cousin, friend, so on and so forth. We have had an abusive personality trait type person in our lives. A person who love bombs you, a person who gaslights you, you know what I'm saying? Who uses you one way, shape, or form or another. Because there's way too many of them out there. Then here's the problem with those situations, right? You have to deal with the after effects of an abusive personality trait person because you start to crave the abuse. I am not joking with you. Some people then think when they get into a good relationship with a person that relationship isn't normal because the abusive relationship to them is normal. And so they think the person doesn't really love them or care about them because that person isn't doing this, this, and this, and this. And you have to unlearn the abuse. You start to crave the abuse and sometimes become the abuser. You don't realize it, but it happens. You start to crave that abuse so much that you cause or try to cause problems so that you can get the same abuse done again. Yes, that sounds crazy, but look it up. It is a part of narcissistic personality when you survive a narcissist. It's got a different name to it. Let me try to look up what it's called. It's a dependency, technically, to a narcissistic personality disorder. People actually get dependent on that abuse and start to crave it and look for that drama that a narcissistic person brings into your life. They want that drama. They want to be made to feel a victim. Believe it or not, it does become a thing. You have to break that cycle, right? It's actually it's a survivor disorder that happens. I'm trying to find the name of it. There is an actual name. You actually become, it's a narcissistic victim syndrome. Refers to the mental, emotional, and other consequences a person may experience due to the relationship with an abusive person with narcissistic personality. It does have a lasting effect on the victims, and they may develop coping mechanisms to survive. And unhealthy things. And the only way for you to break that, if you have been in a narcissistic personality with a person with NPD, is to go to therapy. You have to break those chains because you will still try to be in that abusive relationship even after the fact when you get with a good person, and you will actually destroy a good relationship because of past trauma. So this is what I try to tell people. When you know that you were in a very serious relationship that was abusive, try to heal yourself and go to therapy and try to help yourself and realize those trauma responses so you don't take it into your next relationship. So you don't blame a person. Like, let's say you had a person that was a cheater that you were with, right? And that person cheated. No matter what you would have did and how good of a person you would have been, they were still going to cheat, right? That then starts leading you to believe that every person after that is going to be the same way. So in your very next relationship, that person's not cheating, but then you start questioning whether they're going to the store or going to different places because of your past trauma. You're taking it out on them when they don't deserve it, right? They don't deserve that. So hey, Mr. MRH, that is a thing that that a lot of people have to deal with. And, when men specifically get into DV situations, right, they start to beat themselves up and make themselves to where they think every person after that is going to do that to them. They start becoming over apologetic to people. I'm sorry. When they did nothing wrong to apologize for. Now, that is a thing that does happen. It happens more so with men than women, but it happens for both. They've been gaslighted, and domestic violence has happened to them so much that it has changed the way they think. It has changed the way that they interact with others. And their next relationships, if they don't break that cycle, they will bring it into it. So that's why I tell people, if you've been in an abusive relationship whatsoever, whether it be a friendship, a relationship, family members, do not be ashamed to seek mental health. Do not be ashamed to work on that situation, because just like it took time to learn trauma, it takes time to unlearn trauma. And don't beat yourself up about it, right? You didn't deserve what happened to you in the first place, but now you have to deal with the after effects. But there actually is a syndrome that happens when when you actually have narcissistic abuse survivors, and the syndrome, basically you become, I'm going to read this to you. This is what tends to happen if you were, and you may not even know you were with a narcissist. So this might help somebody come to that realization right now. What are typical behaviors of a narcissistic abuse survivor? Key points. Victims of narcissistic abuse develop coping mechanisms to survive, but once the abuse has ended, their coping mechanisms may turn maladaptive. Over-focusing on others' needs, failing to set boundaries, or doing anything in exchange for a kindness may pave the way for maltreatment or abuse. Recognizing old coping mechanisms and letting them go can restore a lost sense of self and help rebuild healthy relationships. Set your boundaries, mean it. If you have something you don't want to happen and someone else is doing it, tell them, this is my boundary and you're crossing it and I don't like it. Set firm, strict boundaries with people. It says, over the years, I have worked with numerous survivors of a narcissistic abuse. They all have been subject to sophisticated manipulation, disrespectful treatment, and conditional love. The longer that has been going on, the stronger the after effects. And even victims who seem to have recovered still show certain typical behaviors. Narcissists aim to undermine their victims, subjecting them to behavior that is reducing them to nothing, gaslighting them to make them think they are going mad, killing off any sense of self and self-esteem. In order to survive, victims have to develop behavior that keeps them as safe and sane as possible. And it is this behavior that stays with them long after they escape their narcissist. I've been subjected to narcissistic abuse from my mother, who has also created a dysfunctional family. And it took me decades to understand what was going on and unlearn some unhelpful behaviors. Are you a victim? Do you know a victim? You might recognize the following 5 behaviors which easily invite abuse. That's why you'll see somebody sometimes go from one abusive relationship to the other, because they almost attract that kind of relationship after the fact because of their coping mechanisms that was there to make them survive. They don't know how to set boundaries and keep them because they're trying to keep that person, right? just like they were with the original abuser. You do anything for kindness. As a victim, you have been deprived of kindness, are now craving it. Kindness is in any form is welcome, but also needed to be rewarded. When someone is kind to you, it will make you happy, but it also makes you think it needs to be repaid with sex, running errands, doing favors. Receiving kindness without repaying it seems unnatural, as you have been brainwashed by your narcissist into something for something approach. Narcissists will never do anything or any favors unless it is in exchange. It might be difficult for you to understand real kindness, the type that doesn't need to be reciprocated, and it might make you feel on edge to be on the receiving end. When someone was flirting with me and offering me compliments, I always got nervous as I couldn't take it or what it was. To me, it meant I was expected to return the kindness by offering sexual favors. I've heard this from some abuse survivors also. 2, you always tune in to the needs of others. Life with a narcissist has trained you to be sensitive to other people's needs, especially those of your narcissist, of course, and to respond to those needs rapidly on automatic pilot in order to survive. This behavior usually continues. You notice someone's requisites and step into action to help them. Sometimes even before they realize there is a problem, you already solved it. It's not unusual to invoke an unpleasant reaction while you help someone, as you can come across too strongly as someone who interferes. I was on a continuous mission to help negative people see the positives, offering ideas, taking actions, thinking things through on their behalf, only to realize that what I decided needed to change in them was not what they wanted at all. It's my fault. I must have done something wrong. This is one of the big ones right here, I will tell you. Having been accused and blamed for anything that didn't go the way your narcissist wanted has led to a default mental position where you first thought it was, where did I fail? What error did I make? In a work situation, social setting, or other circumstances, you are feeling instantly responsible for what is going on, even if it has nothing to do with you. Because you are offering to take the blame, people might take you up on it, and you might find yourself in a familiar situation of being accused and expected to solve something that has nothing to do with you. Whenever things went wrong or not according to plan, I immediately needed to make it right. I started to make amends or find solutions, even if initially the situation had nothing to do with me. That is one of the biggest things that I've seen that narcissistic abuse survivors go through. Everything is their fault, so they take blame for things that aren't even their fault. And a real person who truly has your best interest at heart is going to tell you you did nothing wrong. And they're going to admit when they do something wrong, right? But another abuser will see that as an out that they can blame you. And you can feel like it's your fault again. And you almost get to the point that everything has to be your fault. You got to break these traits of narcissistic abuse. Really got to break them. It's hard. And I'm not saying change the kindness in your heart or change how kind and sweet you are, but you have to set boundaries and not allow people to run over you like you're a dog. I am working hard, putting all my energy into what I am doing. Being trained by your narcissist to be available and being expected to offer your time, energy, and resources at any time to suit them has made you someone who is used to putting an effort in. It is very difficult for you to not do anything, and it's easy for you to be busy doing stuff. Most likely for others, not for yourself. You are very welcome in any committee or organizer group as you seem okay with doing the majority of the work. My working ethos is extreme. I never give up. Keep on going. It's an effort. It's just what I do. It pays off as I get a lot done in a positive payoff of my childhood training. I struggle with boundaries. Boundaries are a result of stepping into your power and honoring your own needs. This is new territory for victims of narcissistic abuse. As your confidence has gone, so has your sense of power. As your sense of self-worth has been undermined, so has the awareness of your own needs. Being able to say no and stop to others is a way to protect yourself. You were not allowed to do that when you were with your narcissist, and it is still difficult. It is easy for others to abuse you when you're not clear about what is acceptable or not. It took me years to acknowledge my self-worth and recognize what I needed to be happy and to put up my boundaries so I could honor thy self-worth. Build a loving and respectful connection with myself has made me all the difference. In my coaching now, I help clients build that BFF, best friends forever relationship. You want to be your own best friend. I'm going to tell you this because ain't nobody going to look out for you like you look out for you. These typical behaviors are leftovers of an abusive relationship. Unfortunately, if they are not addressed, they can easily attract other abusers and abusive situations. Find yourself applying these behaviors, address them one by one, either by yourself or with the help of a professional. There's also other, things with narcissistic victim syndrome that happens. You start to crave the abuse, and you often end up seeking other people to do it to you because you end up becoming the scapegoat. The person's been passive aggressive with you, making you always feel like it's your fault, gaslighting, and they hovering over you, and they give you the silent treatment. Like there's a lot of people with this syndrome end up dissociating as a survival mechanism. It becomes a defense for them. So they detach themselves from their sense of self, their surroundings. Their brain ends up reprogramming to a different way to survive the abuse. So just like to go through it, the person had to break you down little by little. You have to build yourself up little by little. You have to build back your boundaries, your self-worth, your self-love, not always blaming yourself for everything or thinking everything's your fault and you got to fix the world. That's unrealistic, and it's not going to be good for you. You cannot fix everything. It's not going to happen. You almost become obsessed. You almost become addicted to the abuse because you're so used to it, right? It becomes your normal. And anybody who's trying to show you really true unconditional love, hey, twin mama love, anybody who's trying to show you true unconditional love, sometimes you're going to take it the wrong way because of the narcissistic abuse. Good morning, Watcher. But narcissistic victim syndrome is actually a real thing. A person who's been through it will freeze up often, and like when stressful, traumatic events happen, the person just like freezes up and completely, doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to do anything. A person who's been through this usually has doubt about themselves and their abilities. They have difficulties making a decision because their narcissist that they were with made all the decisions for them, right? They doubt themselves to be able to make good choices because the narcissist always said, no, you never make good choices. I have to make them for you. They always feel as though they have done something wrong. Always super apologizing, have irrational responses to interactions with their partners because the person with NPD was constantly blaming their partner. Sometimes unexplained physical symptoms. Over time, a person may develop unusual explained physical symptoms. These may be non-specific and have no known cause, such as stomach upset, insomnia, or fatigue. Person may have also unexplained aches and pains. Believe it or not, your mental health. You can absolutely have like problems with your stomach, eating. It makes your blood pressure go up. It can affect your physical health when you go through things like this. Usually living with a person with NPD can become unpredictable. They may shower the other person with compliments or gifts or criticize and manipulate them. The unpredictable nature of their attention can lead to feeling restlessness and unease. Of course, we know anxiety, depression is going to come with that, right? Usually, when someone has been through this type of situation, they have a lot of learned behaviors that they have to unlearn, right? It for the person who is going through the surviving it, they're going to have a lot of issues. We were talking about that, and then we was talking about the situation that men can have domestic violence happen to them, and a lot of men are made to feel ashamed. Men can be SA'd. We were talking about narcissistic personality disorder. We were talking about ADHD. Hey, Miss Melissa. I wanted to stay there for your live yesterday, but yesterday I had to go out with my father-in-law, and we were picking stones for the fireplace, and they're doing some stonework around the bottom of the house. They're having their house built from the ground up, so we were going to the brick place and going to the fireplace place, and they're going to have a wood fireplace put in and whatnot. So we was running around with him yesterday, and my father-in-law's down from New York right now. So we were doing all that. Also, I did watch your live, Watchy. I was in there and whatnots and whatnots. I will say this right here. I saw what they're doing to Miss Angela. And that's bullshit. I saw what they did to you watchers. That was bullshit. I saw what they did to Mr. Bum. Well, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. But I heard about it after the fact. It's like, somebody else plays clips. That's how I find out about it. Or hear about it from someone else. Because I ain't watching those motherfuckers. I'm just saying. Now, I did hear it through the grapevine. That somebody's, because I read this in a comment, and I don't know how true this is. Maybe people can confirm or deny this for me. That somebody's live stream went down during the middle of that motherfucker. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Hey, Racing Stars, boo. I had heard it through the grapevine. I read it. Actually, I'll tell you, I read it in a comment that somebody made under another post. I read it. That somebody was posting some stuff they ought not to on YouTube and on somebody else. And I done been telling. I didn't watch any of it either, Watcher. I didn't watch any because I ain't got time for all that bullshit. But what I had heard is that they was messing with some folks and playing some things and doing some stuff, and the whole live stream went down during the middle of it. I was like, oh shit, I ain't even been over there. Yep, it was in JY. That's what I heard. I don't watch them, but I'm gonna say this. Haven't they figured out that he don't give a fuck about their channels? Duh. He's using you, stupid. Like, duh. Like, I just want to smack some motherfuckers upside the head. Because here's the thing. I would never get on Twin Mama's live, Watcher's live, Racing's live, Miss Melissa's live, and do none of that shit. I would never get on their lives to have their channel taken from them. I would never do that. I would never try to affect their channel. If you were somebody's friend or cared about somebody, why would you jump on their panel and do things you know is against terms of service? Because guess what? He don't care about you or your channel. He don't care. Dude. He's not bringing you anything but drama and mess. So what the fuck? Yeah, that's what I heard, Brayson. That's what I heard, Brayson. I heard that person was playing and doing some shit they ought not to. That's what I heard. That's what I read in the comment section, child. On different people's stuff. I was reading some community walls and some comment sections, child. And I heard he was the reason that it went down. That's what I heard, Brayson, child. I got 5 on it. Thank you, Watcher Boo, since you know you pay for all your friendships. Bitch, I'm still gonna be your friend. You ain't getting rid of me. I'm like an STD that won't go away. No, no, I had to make that joke though. I had to make that joke. Uh, yeah, they were going after Mr. Fumble again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, them dudes is through watching. Chad, I gotta pay my dues over at your channel. You know, since we pay for each other's friendship and all. But no, I had to make that joke. I had to make that joke. But yeah, so they were up there saying some shit and doing some shit they ought not to, and that's it. Like, I would never go to a person that I supposedly cared about's channel and try to F it up. I'm not doing that. Mm-mm. 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 I ain't doing that. Because I respect them. I care about them. I don't want to hurt their channel. I want to help their channel. If anything, I'm going to jump up there. I'm going to help them talk about the subject that they're talking about. Oh, man, Miss Melissa, did you see Ghetto last night over there at Lemons? Child, he lost his ever-loving shit. I don't even know who the Gip person is, because I don't know him like that. And he just lost his... I just like... I rolled up in that bitch and like, what the fuck is going on here? Ghetto has lost, like, Ghetto, you gonna, like, I hope that he feels bad about what he said about his baby mama, his wife, even though they ain't together no more. His wife of his children, who was with him when he didn't have a pot to piss in, the woman who stood beside him and took all that shit off his ass. Yeah, he lost his ever-loving shit, Miss Melissa. Oh, there was this dude called Goat Smoke. He did spoken word, and he won. And then there was 2 other ladies that won after him. But he did a real good job and whatnot. He did a real good job. He won $1,100 something, I believe, and then the next person won 800 and something, and then the third place won 300 and something. Lemon said he ended up giving out like close to 3K because he gave 2,300 just to the contestants, and then he paid his judges and his co-host. So he ended up giving out close to 3K. Yeah. Beef Sector does that sometimes. Now, some of the people don't believe in like throwing out that much money. They might have like first place be 500. You know, second place be 275, and third place be like 150. But yeah, and whatnot. But like, here's my thing. If you truly care about anybody on this internet, why would you try to destroy their channel if you supposedly care about it? But haven't they listened to the fact that a lot of these people say, I ain't your friend, I don't really like you like that? And the fact that I wouldn't even know, let me say this right now, about the allegations made against JY if it wasn't for JT saying that in MobTube. I would not know about it. Does he realize that his own friend is the one spreading the fact, saying he was putting that jacket on his back, being a pedo? Would not know about it. Had never heard the story. And a lot of people didn't know about it. But your supposed friend is the one that's spreading it. That ain't no friend at all. I'm going to tell you something. If you claim you're a friend of mine and then you try to put that jacket on my back, hell no, bitch, we ain't cool. And also, Mr. Malik, if you catch this replay, I got to tell you something. Don't ever let a motherfucker son you like that. Man, that has been bothering me ever since that happened. That has been bothering my soul. Because I'm going to say this right now. You can't use the excuse your wife was asleep. Because I'm going to explain something. You was up on that panel talking your shit. Just like I'm talking right now. You could have still cussed that motherfucker out with this very same speech without waking up your partner. You could have very well cussed him out. Don't let nobody son you and make you out to be a bitch. Because then it makes everybody believe what people say about you. That you're willing to jump on the women and not the men. Don't do that shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Damn. And don't let no one claim they're your friend and try to destroy your channel or put jackets on your back. That is not a friend. A friend does not do that to you. Now, I will tell y'all something cool. I was working and playing around with AI the other day. I'd never done an AI music. And I'm going to play y'all. I made this song for the Hood Table and Big Rigs. Big Rig Slaps. You know, they my peoples. And I don't know if y'all going to be able to hear it, but I'm gonna try to see if I can add it or whatnot. There's 3 of them that sounded good as hell, y'all. The song sounded better, and I don't know why, but I can't get it in MP3. Who did that to SD? What I done missed, Miss Catherine? You know you keep up with everything. You talking about South Dallas, right? And who's the R name? You can say the name, Miss Catherine. That way I know who it is. And if you want to delete it after you say it, oh, Rico did it to SD. Oh man, I did see Stump Down. You talking about Stump Down, right? Okay, I did see that live a little bit where Rico was talking about where he had pulled where he was talking about he's sleep with anybody and he don't wrap it before he tap it and all this other stuff, and it's his and he can do what he wants knowing he has the 3 letters. Well, I'm gonna explain something to you, Rico. Now, if you're letting them know you have the 3 letters before you have sex with them and not wrapping it and they allow you to do that, that's one thing. But if you're not telling your partners that you have the 3 letters and you are sleeping with them unprotected, they can charge you for that. If they come up with that disease, they can charge you with manslaughter and attempted murder. They can charge you with that. It's a felony. Knowingly spreading the disease to a person who doesn't know you have it is a felony and is an attempted murder charge. Just to let you know. Just to let you know. If you knowingly have HIV and you knowingly sleep with someone and they don't know you have it, and you have lied about your test results, your ass can go to prison. Just saying. I'm just saying. That's just wrong in my opinion. I saw that shit and I was like, Rico, don't. I saw that live though, Miss Catherine. I really did. But a true friend ain't gonna do that shit to you though. And I don't know why that person thinks that person's actually their friend or cares about them, or even that's not your friend. That's a business associate, and ain't even a good business associate. A good business associate ain't gonna try to do that shit to your channel. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference. You can have friends on here. That's cool and all. But there's also business associates, right? On here. YouTube ships, whatnot. Why would you want to ruin someone else's channel? I'm going to say this. I have hit many panels. And most of the time, I go by the channel owners, what they say goes, right? So let's say I jump over to Hood Table. Hood Table allows me to cuss on her panel, right? But let's say I go over to Bree's channel. Bree don't allow cussing on her channel. Well, I'm going to go by what the content creator tells me is acceptable on their panel, what their rules and regulations are. And I'm not going to try to break terms of service and mess up their shit. And even if I was in a beef with someone, cussing somebody smooth the crap out on somebody else's panel, I'm not going to break terms of service. I'm not going to mess up their channel. Because here's the thing, that person cares about nobody's channel. And eventually what he has done about helping other people get strikes is going to happen. Miss Angel Gotti, I want you to hear me, boo. It's going to happen because he's breaking terms of service on everybody else's shit. He's going to slip up and do the same thing on your shit. By what I hear, he's already doing it. He don't give a fuck about your channel. And even if it's behind a paywall, baby, if somebody gets that link, they can still report that shit, just to let you know. And yes, YouTube can do something about it, even if it's behind a paywall. I'm just letting you know. If you break in terms of service, you still break in terms of service. It don't matter how you do it. So I would be very careful thinking somebody's your friend or helping you build your channel, because they're actually destroying it by what I see. When I see an entire sector of YouTube turn on a person, not just a few, but the entirety, yeah, you've done something, bro. You should have listened. That's all I got to say. You should have listened. Instead of thinking you know everything, you should have listened to the people who actually cared about you. You should have listened. Because now it's going to be a steadily downward spiral. And it's gonna be the thing that makes your channel no good anymore. That's something you should always listen to. Here's the thing. If somebody from the beef sector tell me I'm fucking up and I'm doing something wrong, I'm going to listen to them, especially if they're my OG. My OG, right? Somebody that has my best interest at heart. I'm going to listen to them. And especially if they tell me that a person that I'm bringing into my life means no good for me and they're dragging me down. You know what I'm saying? And this person has known me for a very long time. You know what I mean? I'm going to listen when they say that to me. I'm going to listen to people. Like, okay, here's the thing. When I ran across this person for the first time, a lot of y'all came in here and told me what happened to you and what you went through with this person, right? I listened to every single one of you, right? I didn't think I was above reproach. I knew some shit was going to go down. Didn't know how bad it was going to be, right? But also, I don't think, JT, you're going to be able to call Travis again. Rest in peace. He passed away. So please don't start blowing up his phone because he's no longer here with us. Just saying. The person that he was talking about me to that didn't know me at all, who I had very few interactions with. There was more so hey and bye type situation. Didn't know me from Adam's House Cat. Couldn't tell you nothing about my dating life. Don't know nothing really about me personally. That person passed away. I told y'all that person had a health condition and may have had some issues. But that person passed away. So rest in peace. Even if what you did to me was wrong, I still don't. I wish that you and your family the best and pray for y'all. Because unlike certain people, I'm actually a good person. Mm-hmm. Even if he made up all kind of lies and said all kinds of shit or did whatever he did, you know, I don't speak ill of the dead. So rest in peace. You know what I mean? Praying for your family. He wasn't but 38 years or 37 years old. He had contracted many years ago syphilis and it became untreatable. It became untreatable and it ate away at his brain and he was blind in one eye. And I believe that may have been what contributed to his passing away. So, yeah. There's things that you don't know that I do know about certain people that you're talking to. Listen to them if you want to. But there's a reason why they're not respected in the old neighborhood that I'm from. Just saying. Yeah, it pretty much does. And he had that. I don't know when he contracted it. I can't tell you. I know he moved in and out of the neighborhood multiple times and whatnot through over the time of us being teenagers. I didn't live there for 30 years. The dude didn't know me for 30 years. I'm only 37. I didn't move to that neighborhood until I was like 17. And I moved out of it a few years ago. So it wasn't no way it could be 30 years. there's no possible way. You know what I mean? I was a senior in high school when I moved there, and I moved away like 2 to 3 years ago. That's why also the dog story makes no fucking sense because I wasn't living there. How can you steal something and open a door when the house is locked up and you're not there and it's been abandoned for 3 years or more? That makes no sense. How can you do that when you're not there physically? Like that makes no possible sense. The person you're talking to is crazy as all batshit I'll get out. Even every neighbor says that shit. I still talk to some of the old neighbors from the neighborhood. And trust me, they tell me all about it. Like, this motherfucker done lost his shit. Now, that's what I hear. I don't fucking know. I ain't talking to motherfucker. I ain't got nothing to do for him no more. You know, no. I was nothing but good to that person. When they didn't have a lawnmower and they couldn't cut their grass, I took mine over there and cut their grass. When they needed something, I was there. They never were opposite, vice versa. But yeah, he does know the person I paid over $2,000 to fix floors in that house. He does know that person. And that person already knows a little something. And I may need to call that person up because there's a bed out to knock the fuck out of that motherfucker. But that's side the point. But yeah, so you know. Yeah, I was hoping Ghetto would calm down last night, Miss Catherine. I ended up falling asleep. Did he continue to do that all night long? Like, I fell asleep. Okay, let me tell you when I fell asleep. Remember when Code jumped up there to calm him down? Right after Code jumped up there, I fell asleep. So, what did he continue to crash out after Code jumped up there? Or did he calm down? Oh, shout out to you, Binary Code, also for trying to calm that situation down. Because I know your ass was going to bed. Because I know you get up early. You know what I'm saying? I know you get up early as shit. So to do your morning show too, because you have your morning show, Binary. And so shout out to you, homie, for jumping up there and trying to help that situation out. Because I know you wasn't trying to jump up there. I know you was trying to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what the hell Ghetto was on last night, y'all. Ghetto Intellect, I don't know what the hell. He just, all of a sudden, he just started going to fuck in and going crazy and spitting at the camera. And I don't know, bro. He crashed out hard last night. I wonder if we're going to see him today, if he going to feel bad about it, or if he going to, like, try to sweep it under the rug, or if he going to disappear for a couple weeks. You know, he's done that before when he's had these crash outs before. When he's crashed out this bad, yeah, that was a bad crash out, bro. Oh, he was being messy. I thought he was up there trying to calm it down, child. I fell asleep. I admit it. So Cole was really being messy and not trying to calm it down. So I got that wrong, Chad. I apologize. I apologize for getting that wrong. I fell asleep. I'm gonna invite anybody want to come up here and let me know about that story. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this lanky link. And also, whoever it was who has free StreamYard, I gotta tell you something. You don't have to put the banner in media assets or in banners, right? You can do a little thing for the free 99 where you put it in the present screen and slides and PDFs like this right here, right? And you can make one of these layouts where when you do that, let me add that. I gotta put it in the correct layout. I have a layout specifically for guest banners. I think is it that one? Hold on. What is going on with that layout? There it is. Where it literally covers the whole screen. And you don't have to do the banner from that other one. Now, is it easier to do your banner from the other? Yes, but you can do it for the free 99. Oh, yeah. I saw that in the chat, too. I saw, let me pin this message. I don't know who Gip is. Okay. I don't know who Gip is. Um, yeah, I said B. I saw my cousin BL say that. A few other folks, Mr. JB. Oh shit. So Ghetto ain't gonna have shit to do with code no more. Oh damn. Also, here's the problem. I will say this. I do not believe in calling the cops like that on someone. He was already home at that time. And there's a reason why I'm going to say that. There's a reason why I'm going to say that. We know what has happened to many people who have been drunk or upset, and the cops get called. We don't want to see nobody unalived. You feel me? That's why I say that's no, don't do all that. Don't do all that. Don't do all that. You know what I'm saying? Who cussed you out, Mr. JB? Who cussed you out? Who I need to cuss back? Who said that to you? Who messed with my Mr. JB? Oh, do I need to call somebody out? Oh, Lemon, don't make me get on your ass. You my brother, but Mr. JB also my brother from another mother. Okay. Don't be talking shit to Mr. JB. Well, I mean, Mr. JB ain't long winded in your name. I'm just saying you never said you wasn't long winded, but you still be saying something that's worth saying. But you still said it in your name. You ain't lying. You know? It ain't like you over here going, nah, I ain't never said that. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's in my name. Shit. You know what you should start singing when they say that, Mr. JB? Say my name, when no one is around you. Say, baby, I love you when you ain't running game. You should totally sing that in the chat. Mm-hmm. I mean, you never said you wasn't long-winded. I know, right? You totally made it your name for a reason, duh. Also, I'll say this. You don't want to waste police time because they could be dealing with a very serious situation over some YouTube bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Only call if you absolutely have to. If somebody's threatening your life or your family. That's the only way you do that. I think in my entire life, I may have called the cops twice. And I'm 37 years old. Twice. I don't be calling the popo like that. I handle it my damn self. The only way I'm gonna call is if I absolutely have to and I have no other option or choice but to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't have a choice and you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Yeah, that's another thing. If you don't have the location, all that other stuff, yeah, you got to have all that information when you do something like that. Uh, that's kind of funny. You've been on live this whole time. Call them. I got every bit of it live streamed, bitch. I got every bit of it live streamed. I got all the info I need right here to show them what you've been doing. What you've been doing. And yeah, that doctor should have fired him because I'm going to tell you something. That's unbecoming. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to hold yourself with a professionalism when you work in a doctor's office at a front desk. You're supposed to be a professional. Hell, I don't even remember it, and I've been told it multiple times. That's the thing. I've heard it, and I can't remember it, and I don't want to remember it, and I'm that type of person. Like, you know, you hear people's shit, and you like, I ain't even trying to remember it. Shit. I don't be trying to remember that stuff. Apparently, you got what it takes to be beefsteak, and he was like, I didn't even apply or pledge. Okay. I'm a spectating visitor. I guess they don't know you from the T sector, Mr. JB. You know, they don't know what sector you from. I know where you from. Some people just don't be paying attention. I can also tell you who's been with the beef sector since the OG original time, even subbies. Like there's certain subbies that I've known for all these years, right? We OG subbies because I'm not an OG content creator. Hell no. I didn't start content creating until last year, and I don't even really play around with beef sector content entirely too much. I do a lot of different content, right? But I've been an OG subby of the beef sector since, you know, and a moderator. You know what I mean? Oh, no, you don't have it. And Lemon said, I'm denied access. I ain't got it. And he said, I came from Lolo, and I actually met Lolo from his channel. Yeah, Mr. JB didn't come from Lolo. I'll tell you that one right there. I know via way of how most people from the black tea sector met the beef sector. I know how the merger came through. And I know who through most people they found the beef sector. There's a couple of content creators I can name off right now that most people started watching through. Because it was because of people going over there and people coming over here. From your sector, Mr. JB. Yeah. They don't know. I know the history. Hell, I think you knew me longer than you knew Lolo, Mr. JB. If I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. But yeah. I'm not sure who you watched first, but most people in the black tea sector, when VS went over there, and people started coming around the beef sector, and when Treesus and different people, and most people found out about the beef sector when the shit with Rob Rack went down. Yup. VS went over there to the black tea sector. I met Treesus and all them people over there, and Miss Yolanda's and everybody that's over there. And here's another crazy thing. People get the two Miss Yolandas mixed up. There are two different Yolandas. There's Miss Yolanda from the beef sector, and this Miss Yolanda from the black tea sector. They are two different people. People get them mixed up all the time. I've been VS's moderator for many years. And when she went over there, I went over there. And so I was over there chilling with a lot of different folks. I didn't get into none of the mess. None of the mess. You know, I just went over, supported, and then dropped back down over here. I didn't understand what was going on sometimes as people were fighting. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got scared of the Black T sector a little bit. I just saying y'all was doing some crazy shit over there, and I was like, I don't know if I want to fuck around and find out over here. Yeah, see, there's Yolanda the Great. That's from Yo sector, the Black T sector. And then there is Yolanda, which is Beef sector. They're two different people. And I done seen a couple folks get them mixed up as the same person. I'm like, they not the same person. Okay? They are totally different. Two different people. Two different people. Two different folks. But now I will say one thing I don't like that I've been seeing over there, Mr. JB, if you've been keeping up with it, people keep bringing up Quay into this bullshit with Miss Sammy and whatnot, and I don't like that shit. Quay ain't got shit to do with none of that. She resting in peace. She ain't no longer here with us. And that one woman time out she talked to Quay, and she a spiritualist and all this shit. Be a spiritualist, baby. I ain't got no problem with that. But don't play that shit. You ain't talked to Quay. Quay didn't come talk to you. Sorry, that didn't happen. Leave her the fuck alone. Let her rest in peace. That shit pissed me off so bad that I had to stop watching that interview on Queen Tulsa's panel that day because I don't know who that lady is. I don't know her like that, but that shit pissed me off because I knew Pretty Big Woman Quay. She was my moderator. I knew that woman. Don't do that shit. That woman was a godly woman. She loved God and she loved Jesus, and me and her had many a debates about that shit. Leave that shit alone. Leave her alone. Let her rest in peace. Yeah, I was also in the Jaguar right over there playing around. King Payne used to be over here with us. Oh, that shit pissed me off though, because if you know anything, you know that really hurt me when Quay passed. You know what I'm saying? I was real close with her at that point in time. And I don't like that they bringing her up every time you turn around. Leave her alone. She rested in power. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave her out of the shit. Leave her out of it. That's all I got to say. I don't care about none of the drama bullshit. I don't care about nobody fighting, none of that bullshit. But leave her be. She ain't no, and a lot of those people even get mixed up what happened to Quay and why Quay was so stressed out. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all the real. When that happened with Quay, they were calling her phone. She had a house phone. They had done doxed her, all this shit. They was calling her house phone off the hook 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning constantly, to the point that she had to unplug her house phone. Completely unplug it from the wall. They were threatening to have her mother, and if you knew anything about Quay, she loved her mama and she loved her family, to have her mama's SSI messed with. They were threatening her mama and her daddy. That's what bothered Quay the most. She didn't care about the shit they said about her. Quay would tell you, she would cuss back. You know what I'm saying? Quay wasn't always right about everything. Quay said she hated when they used God in their bull mess, right? And she'll tell you, she would tell me, she'd go, now, Charlie, baby, if you hear Quay cussing people out, don't listen, okay? I'm like, girl, I'm used to it. I'm from the beef sector. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, don't look at Quay no different. I was like, y'all fighting is y'all's fight. You know what I'm saying? She would fight just like the rest of them. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. And she was having trouble sleeping. She was having trouble, getting that situation regulated. A lot of people didn't know she was going through some shit. You know what I mean? But I did. But all of them need to leave her name out of that shit. Leave her name out of it. She gone. She ain't no longer here with us. That was my homie. That was my partner. Quay may not have been right on everything she did, but I still loved her. That's true. They did. They did exploit her. I will say that much. And they knew she was off her meds. And I had talked to her myself and was trying to get her to chillax, get some sleep. Don't worry about this YouTube shit so much. Take time for yourself and all that. I will say I could tell you. Let me go look at something right quick, and I'll tell you exactly when she passed away. Because I did a video the day after I found out. Right after I found out that she passed, right? I did a video for her. And I did a tribute. A tribute for her. Let me go to my YouTube studio. Let me find Quay's video, and I'll tell you exactly. Because I was crying that morning. I was upset. I loved Quay with, you know, because y'all know I'd feel the same way about any of y'all if that happened. I'd be just as heartbroken and just as sad. She was a good person to me. You know what I'm saying? And we had good interaction. And I'm not saying that those who beefed with her, that she didn't cross the line. Or that she didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm trying to say? I'll never say that. Because she was in the shit just like everybody else. I know it ain't been quite a year because I ain't been a content creator for quite a year yet. But it was December the 11th of 2024. So December the 11th of this year will be 1 year. So it ain't been a whole year. It's been since December to now, which is December, it'd be January, February, March, April, May, June. This June, right? So it's been 6 months. 6 months. It's been a half a year. Yeah, it's been 6 months since she passed. She is still a moderator on this channel and will, as long as her YouTube channel stays up. She's one of the sweetest people. You know what I'm saying? And let's see. I'm over here. Y'all done forgot to comment back to so many people. Whew. Lord have mercy. I don't know if y'all ever do that. And we got this new thing called viewers post. And I don't know what the hell that is. To tell you the God honest truth. I don't even know. You know it. You know it. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. It's been 6 months since she passed away. Just leave her. Let her rest in peace. They keep bringing her into that bullshit. Like, leave her be. You know what I mean? Like, now I will say you can still see who she was beefing with when she passed away. Her channel, as far as I know, I can tell y'all if her channel's still up. There's a very simple way for me to do it. I can go look at my moderator list right now. Hold on. Pretty Big Woman Q, Quay, her channel is still up because she's still a moderator of mine. So that lets me know that her channel is still up. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back and look at her videos, you know what I'm saying, and see what was going on at that time. Now, you know, people be in the mess and all this other stuff. I don't get into the mess myself, but and Quay knew that. She knew I wasn't that type. But you know, I just don't like the fact of that one girl bringing up that she gonna try to contact Quay from the other side and all this other shit. If you knew Quay well enough, you knew that she was a godly woman and that she would tell you she gonna be up there with Jesus. She ain't gonna be dealing with that other shit. That's gonna be a demon trying to talk to that person. It ain't gonna be Quay. Yeah, so I just some of that shit's just like, ugh. You know what I mean? And I heard the Karen Reed trial still ain't got a verdict yet. Let me check it yet. Karen Reed trial updates. The jury's still deliberating as far as and so they're still waiting on her verdict to come back. And of course, we know with this Diddy situation is going to go on for a minute more. I will say, if you're looking for Diddy trial updates, also the Hood Table is doing a update every single day on the trial. Let's see if they got any live updates right now. We're going to check the CNN website, y'all, because this is day 25. Yesterday was day 25. They ain't got no updates today on the 18th yet. So they're like day 25, day 26 on this trial already. The defense highlights texts that show Combs and Ventura planning freak-offs. That was from 20 hours ago. Agent says she found no records of New Year's 2016-2017 meeting. The defense attorney, Tenny Gringos, asked DeLessa Penland, a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office for Southern District of New York, if she reviewed any materials indicating a meeting around New Year's Eve 2016-2017. Penland confirmed that she did not. Cassie Ventura's friend, Deontay Nash, previously testified that he saw a man enter Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs' hotel room during a New Year's trip to Las Vegas that year. Defense done with cross-examination. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos concluded her cross-examination. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson said she will briefly question DeLessa Penland, a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, on redirect. Combs Detective Ventura, I'm sorry, after the 2016 assault. It says, in the days after the assault, Combs texted Ventura, baby, I can't say it enough. I'm so sorry. On the same day, Ventura texts Combs, I still have crazy bruising from Friday. I would be a dummy to subject myself to that possibly happening again, Ventura wrote. When you get fucked up the wrong way, you always want to show me that you have the power and you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. That's what the text say. Judge dismisses jury for the day. And, so I guess that was what CNN covered. Let's see. Allegedly, there's supposed to be some drug mule that testifies. Allegedly. That's what it said, allegedly. Diddy trial canceled for the day after jurors report vertigo-like symptoms. So the trial today was canceled because jurors are having some vertigo. Like is somebody trying to put hexes on the jury or something? Because Diddy trial canceled for day after juror reports vertigo-like symptoms. It says Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial has unexpectedly adjourned for the day due to jurors' health. Judge Arian Suberman excused the jury in Combs' trial on Wednesday, June 18th, after a juror reported vertigo-like symptoms on the way into court. The trial was already scheduled to take a brief recess on June 19th in observation for Juneteenth holiday. It will resume on Friday, June 20th. Combs' former assistant, Brendan Paul, had been expected to testify against his ex-boss in court on June 18th. The 26-year-old former Syracuse University basketball player previously faced felony charges for drug possession when he was arrested on the same day as the raids of Combs' home, but the case was later closed. Paul's testimony will come after prosecutors probe Combs' alleged sex trafficking enterprise with the help of unearthed personal messages, videos, and other evidence. Jurors were shown roughly 20 minutes of what appeared to be video footage created between 2012 and 2014 of Combs' freak-offs, a series of elaborate sexual performances he's been accused of orchestrating. U.S. attorneys plan on calling 2 or 3 more witnesses, including Paul, before resting their case. Combs, 55, was arrested in September and charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pled not guilty. Who is Brendan Paul? Diddy's alleged drug mule. In February of 2024, music producer and Combs collaborated. Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. mentioned Paul in his civil lawsuit against Combs that alleged SA and harassment. A month later, on the afternoon of March 25th, 2024, the same day Combs' homes were raided in Miami and Los Angeles, Paul was arrested by local police at the Miami Opa-locka Executive Airport per an arrest affidavit obtained by USA Today. At the time, Florida prosecutors levied level 2 felony charges of possession of controlled substance against him, alleging he had packed cocaine and marijuana-laced candy in his luggage. Brendan Paul works as Mr. Combs' mule, Jones' lawsuit said, adding 2 photos of Paul and Combs together for reference. Jones claimed Paul allegedly procured, transported, and distributed drugs including ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. Jones also said that Paul would acquire and distribute guns for Combs and negotiate the fees the sex workers received and would ensure that the workers are paid on Combs' behalf. On December the 17th, 2024, prosecutors declined to proceed with the one outstanding charge of cocaine possession and the case was closed. Paul has completed a pre-trial diversion course, sometimes offered for first-time offenders. His attorney told USA Today at the time. Jurors were shown apparent freak-off videos from 2012 to 2014. The videos shown were 3 to 4 minutes increments. On June 17th, jurors were all wearing earphones, and the monitors that had been used during testimony were cut off to the courtroom gallery. At one point, the gallery could hear the faint sound of heavy breathing, and the judge reminded jurors to make sure that their headphones were fully on because the microphone feed appeared to be picking up the video. Throughout roughly 20 minutes of footage, DeLessa Penland, a special agent for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, looked uncomfortable on the stand and at one point appeared to close her eyes and winch. Diddy falsely told Cassie he was going to be arrested after the 2016 hotel assault. Phone and text records unveiled June 17th showed Combs pled with former girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura, fined to return to Los Angeles area hotel where surveillance footage captured him attacking her in the hallway. I went and checked everything and spoke to security. Jules left, so you're good, and as long as you don't disturb the other guests, they'll leave you be, Ventura Fine texted him, referring to it, a sex worker they hired for an alleged freak-off. I'm about to be arrested, Combs texted Ventura Fine after she left the hotel, saying police were at the building. Records showed he called her 5 times in 22 minutes, but there's no evidence law enforcement was involved in the incident. But yeah, so they are adjourned for the day, and they're not going to be tomorrow because of Juneteenth, because of the holiday or whatnot. So I guess they'll start back Friday on that trial. Hey, Mr. Jim Coddington, the best Coddington and the best Jim that ever was and ever will be. But yeah, so basically the Diddy trial is postponed because a juror had vertigo-like symptoms. I mean, shoot, if I had to watch some of them videos of Diddy and them doing some weird shit, I might get vertigo too, damn it. I'm just saying. I had to watch some of that crazy shit, I might be getting vertigo too. But I do have to go in a minute and, get me a little bathy bath and all that other stuff. I got to brush my toothbrushes. I got to go to the dentist today. Y'all pray for me. May have to end up getting this one tooth pulled or whatnot. So pray for me, child. I'm going to need Jesus. Jesus, holy water. I done said, I be giving out people in the abuse sector to think I'm lying. I'm giving out y'all the bug spray and the holy water. Why? So you can rebuke everything that come your way. And you know what I'm saying? Well, think about it like this. You can have a vertigo attack if you're really, really, really anxious about something. And think about these people having to sit there and listen to these freak offs. Like, think about you just got done watching all them fucked up videos, and now you're thinking you're going to go back and look again. You're like, oh, damn. You had your whole dental journey in the last 7 months. My son is having a dental journey because he may be getting braces. So he's going through a dental journey too. I just may have to have something pulled. I'll be all right. One of my back teeth has like this, like I can feel it with my tongue, but I can't see it. Like this little crack or something. So I'm going to go get it fixed because I ain't going to be walking around here with 3 teeth in my mouth that look all fucked up and black and messed up, and I look like a freaking crackhead with meth mouth. I ain't doing that shit. I ain't pulling a JY on people. I refuse. I would rather have every tooth in my mouth pulled than walk around here with a meth mouth. Hell to the no, no. My shit may be crooked, but my shit is clean, baby. My shit may be crooked, but my shit taken care of, ho. I got crooked teeth? Hell yeah, I do. But my shit clean and it's taken care of. Okay? I ain't gonna walk around here with black teeth in my mouth. Hell to the no. To the no. I would rather be toothless and gum a bitch to death. I'm sorry, but I'd rather be toothless and go buy me some fake teeth. You know what I'm saying? Than walk around this bitch looking like fucked up like that. with 3 teeth in my mouth looking like a slur. Hell to the no. I ain't gonna run around here with meth mouth. Hell to the no. I'd rather be toothless, bitch. I ain't gonna run around here with some meth mouth. That ain't cute. That ain't cute. Have your shit pulled first. Have every tooth in your mouth pulled before you run around here with some black teeth, some crusty teeth, looking like you got meth mouth. Get your shit pulled first. Ain't no shame in your game, bitch. Wear some false teeth. I swear to God. Racing, I swear to God, I would rather run around here toothless as fuck, gumming bitches to death, than I would run around looking like that. I would rather have my crooked ass teeth than have that shit. My teeth may be crooked, but bitch, they clean. And I don't know how your teeth rot that fucking bad. Like, you had to have been on some serious motherfucking drugs for your teeth be looking like that, bro. Something. Like, now I know I got one friend who had that problem, but she had real bad cancer, and she had experimental treatments done with chemo and radiation, and it made her teeth rot. But she got that shit pulled and got her some fake teeth too. Sure did. She got that shit pulled. It ain't no shame in no game. Don't walk around here with meth mouth. Get that shit pulled. Gum a bitch to death. I would rather you have no teeth than run around here with some meth mouth. Run around here with black ass teeth and the shit look like it's about to fall out your head anyway. So why not have the shit pulled? Shit. That shit look fucked up. Tell me, Racing, and you know who I'm talking about. You tell me that shit don't look fucked up. Like you was on some serious motherfucking drugs and shit. You know they breath stink. They got halitosis. Shit, I wouldn't even want you to breathe in my vicinity. I'd probably throw up and fall out all at the same time. You know they got halitosis. You know they got some stank breath. For your teeth to be that color and it's crusty and you got like, what's that called? Tartar on your teeth because you ain't brushing those bitches and they got black stains and they fucking rotting out of their fucking mouth. Hell no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Nope. Not me. Not today, Satan. Hell to the no. To the no. Say hell no. I ain't doing it. I would rather be toothless. And I would rather have some false ass teeth than I would be running around here looking like I'm jacked up on meth. Yeah, I'd rather, looking like that thing from the Lord of the Rings. I'd rather not go around here looking like Smeagol up in this bitch. Okay? I would rather have some false ass teeth than run around this bitch looking like Smeagol with 3 teeth in your mouth. Hell no. Y'all know what Smeagol look like? Hold on, let me show y'all what Smeagol look like. For y'all motherfuckers who don't know Lord of the Rings. His name is Smeagol. He a Gollum. Okay, so I would rather be toothless. Hold on, let me show y'all something. Share screen. I would rather be toothless than running around here with, and hell, Smeagol look better than some of these folks, and that's bad to say, because Smeagol got some fucked up teeth. But I would rather run around here with no teeth at all than I would run around like that. I ain't doing no meth mouth motherfucking shit. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Let me show y'all. Meth mouth or crack or crystal or something like that has a specific look to it. Okay? Normal people's teeth don't rotten like that. I don't care if you don't brush every day. Your teeth don't do that. Meth mouth is when some motherfucker's teeth is looking like that shit. That's not normal. Okay? Normal rot don't even look like that. So, you know that you on some drugs. Like, look at this shit. Okay, hold on. Let us view this image in another tab. Now, this lady right here, I heard she had a health condition and people saying it was meth. But I heard this lady actually had a health condition that people are making fun of her. But I heard she actually had some kind of health problem. And like it ain't meth for her. It was some other kind of condition. So I don't know why they got her up there. That lady actually had some kind of condition, if I'm not mistaken. Her name is Misty Lohman, if I'm not mistaken. And I think she had some kind of Like she had some kind of problem or something. Like she actually had some kind of health condition. And I don't know why they put her as up there as meth mouth or something like that. I think she had, I forgot what it was. Let me try to look her up right quick and tell y'all what really happened with that lady, because she didn't have, I don't know why they got her up there. Let me see what happened to her, because she actually had some kind of health condition or something. I forget what it was. Let me see if I can. Oh no, they said she was, but she also suffered from scleroderma, bone cancer, and lupus. Misty, who was into meth, was arrested for drug use. A majority of people on the internet mocked her for using her own life, ruining her own life without realizing that the health issues she was facing and substance abuse started after two of her children died, one of them in the womb. So they didn't know that, yeah, she also had health conditions on top of that. She did. She said, before the viral images, Lama says she intended to use drugs until her death. I didn't want to wake up. I lost all my hair. It got really bad. I lost my kids. I was homeless. I was at rock bottom. So it was partially drugs also. But she went from, a healthy young lady to that. And that happens. Like this is a part of what people look like when meth sets in. Like you can see it in their health. Like if you look at a picture of them 5 years previously, you know what I'm saying? Look at their skin. Look at the shit that happens to them. Bitch, you got meth mouth. Fuck that shit. Clean your mouth up. Go. I'd rather see you toothless. I would rather see you be toothless and gumming a bitch to death. Don't. And why are they taking it like it's a badge of honor to have meth mouth? Fuck that shit. Even my friend who had rot from chemo, her teeth didn't look like that. Yeah, hers didn't look like that. And she got that shit taken care of real fast. Like she didn't run around here looking like that. She got that shit taken care of. Like it ain't a shame to have any kind of health problems. It's a shame when you don't take care of it. That's just like, it's not a shame for something to happen. Like, the situation with Lovely Love when that one bug ran across her camera. That was because Lovely Love lived in an apartment building. If anybody knows Lovely Love, she keeps a pretty clean house, right? But she had neighbors who sprayed and it caused them to run her house. Well, she got rid of that shit real quick. Like, it would be a shame if you kept that shit like a badge of honor. That would be a shame. That's the shame in the situation. Just like keeping those teeth in your mouth knowing they cause an adverse health reactions too. That's a shame. Get that shit pulled. Like, they have payment plans, damn it. There's payment plans. You can do payment plans. You know what I mean? They got payment plans. Shit, work something out. Damn. I would rather pull my own shit. Something. I ain't gonna be running around looking like that. Sweet baby Jesus. But I got to get off here. Y'all have a good day. It was so good talking to all y'all. And pray for those motherfuckers that need to clean their teeth. And if you want to hit me up with the Cash App, throw me some love. Very much appreciate it. You don't have to. This is just an option if you choose to. There's the Cash App on the screen. Become a member today. Support with a like and a thanks, a hey, whatever. All support is appreciated. Every bit of it. I thank everybody for everything. Whether you just decide to say, hey, bitch, I love you. You know what I'm saying? That's right. That's right. You gonna go wash your ass and be an adult. Hell yeah. And also, I will say, sometimes when you get older, Miss Catherine, it is better to go ahead and have them pulled before. Like if you have a health condition, if you have a heart condition or anything like that, and you start noticing your teeth are starting to mess up, it's sometimes better to have them pulled before they become a problem, because it can absolutely cause a lot of health issues for you. And when you get older and older and older, and your heart problem gets worse, you can't go under the knife sometimes. So, maybe she did what was best for her, But huggies, I love y'all. Thank you for all the support, my angels. Y'all my angels. And I love you. Bye.
I'm from the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show. From the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood till the day that I go. From the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show. From the TUPELO. I'm ripping my hood till the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction. This was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding. Come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Outer Street, bending every corner on the west, and that's where I'll be. Sunroof back, Captain seat banging down 1800, chunking up the deuce to my post slanging down on 1800. Show no love to the ladies that's training round on 1800, making time stand still. Crystalline swinging down 1800, watching out for them knuckleheads that be stanging round on 1800. Big rims and low pros be blanging round on 1800. Better completely change the way you're thinking about round 1800. Really hate to see you boys get left slanking around 1800. Out of street got some history, just let Captain C lay it out. If I don't finish it all on this one, let the second verse break it out. Remember the blue apartments from OG standing back there by 60 deep. Bull walking, Charles Blue, a big Anthony Hughes and Pee.
I'm from the TUPELO. I'm reppin' my